Welcome. I'm going to read a few passages of this book here, and I'm going to comment on it, and we're going to talk about it. It's going to be really good. So this book is called Adiyogi, The Source of Yoga, written by Suguru, and also written by another guy. So I'm going to read a few passages, and it's going to be fun, interesting. Let's get into this. Dive deep into a little bit about Kundalini yoga, Shakti, Shiva Shakti energies, and the existence beyond, the nothingness beyond everything, the primordial force. So let's get into this. It's going to be fun. Let's do this. Okay, let's get right into this. I'm going to start and read a passage. In tantric imagery, Shakti and Shiva are seen in terms of two chakras at either end of the human system. Shakti, who lies coiled at the lowest chakra, the Muladhara, which is the root chakra, the red chakra at the very bottom of the spine. It's like the lowest, like where your tailbone is. Yeah, around there, lower maybe. The Muladhara has tremendous urge to ascend and meet Shiva. But he is inert. He will not come down. So she rises to meet him, and that's the Kundalini rising through your system. So it's like the female and the masculine, they're attracted to each other, and that's what the part of why the Kundalini rises. And Shakti is the female, and Shiva is the male energies. But he is inert. He will not come down. So the Shiva energy is up here. So she rises to meet him. The whole process of human evolution is to make this energy rise to the highest point rather than get frittered away at the lower levels. So frittering away that Kundalini energy at lower levels would be like excessive sex. That you leak the energy that way. Or, that's one example. The lowest chakra is also like, it's survival. It's a survival chakra. So it's like food, sex, pleasure. It's all down there in the lowest chakra. There's way more to it, but I'm not going to get into it. So excessive pleasure, essentially. Overeating, indulging in overeating, and over sex, or tons of sex partners or whatever. It's overusing that chakra. You're leaking that primordial life force, and then it can't rise. I mean, I'm really, really generalizing and simplifying it. It's more complicated than that, but that's kind of that's one way to look at it. You know, there's a million other angles too. Yeah. Okay, where were we? Rather than frittering away at the lower levels, once Shakti and Shiva, or Shakti, some people say it's Shakti and Shiva unite, the energy has reached its ultimate destination. This is the supreme homecoming. The journey is complete. Nothing more remains to be achieved. But the union is also annihilation. The birth of the infinite marks the dissolution of the infinite. Dissolution of the finite. This is why Shiva represents creation and the destruction of life as you know it. When your energies hit their peak, a new dimension of perception opens up. A dimension beyond all physical limitations now begins. Now begins the downpour of another dimension, the dimension of the beyond. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's once you hit certain levels in the Kundalini yoga, certain levels, certain peak levels of awakening the Kundalini, you see more into the dimension, the timeless dimension of Shiva, like the primordial life force that's there before and behind and inside of and goes through all physical matter. So it's the thing that's before that, even before the energy that flows through everything. It's even before that, the energy that flows through everything, prana, and the essence, the energy of everything. That's more described as Shakti, the female. And these are ways of putting names on these things and personifying these things, putting images on them. It's more life force than it is like a person, right? Okay, let's read some more. Another nice passage here in this book. Everywhere in the world, the spiritual process is about transcending the physical world. Let me start again. Everywhere in the world, the spiritual process is about transcending the physical world of form and returning it to the realm of deathlessness of eternity. Not because there is anything inherently wrong with the physical world. The problem is just that it is perishable, subject to cycles of birth and decay, or death and birth, or birth and death. The dark, dynamic aspect of Shiva has therefore been personified in mythology as Kala Bhairava, the destroyer of ignorance. So Shiva has like a million different names. This is one of them to describe different aspects of Shiva. So Kala Bhairava, the destroyer of ignorance. He who annihilates the compulsive cycles of birth and death, being and non-being. So there's many different names for Shiva to describe different traits or attributes or when Kala Bhairava, so he's talking here now about this particular type of Shiva, Kala Bhairava. When Kala Bhairava, this vibrant state of darkness becomes absolutely still, he returns to the eternal, the fundamental Mahakala. So that's another version of Shiva, the Mahakala. When the last vestige of cyclical existence is annihilated, so at the end of existence, when there's nothing left, all the matter is gone, everything's exploded and burned to nothing, to disappeared. There's just nothing left of it in existence. Mahakala is all that remains. This is the ultimate nature of existence. Time beyond cycles, the dimension of time that endures when space has been annihilated, where everything is eternally here and now. This is the dimension of raw, pulsating, unending life. You can call it the creator or creation, or you can call it yourself. It doesn't matter. This is the realm beyond this and that, beyond you and me, beyond here and there, beyond yes and no. This is the domain of only yes and yes and yes. This is Shiva. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Shall we read another passage? Just get right into this. Okay, so here it says Shiva is seen as the destroyer. So in yoga culture or some types of Hinduism, there's like three main gods, and Shiva's like the last god, the destroyer. There's a creator, there's a maintainer, and then there's a destroyer. See if I can remember all of them. I don't think I can. Brahman, creator. I don't know if that's right. There's like hundreds and hundreds of gods, thousands, millions actually. Maintainer would be Ganesh. I could totally be wrong with that. Anyway, so Shiva's seen as the destroyer, and a lot of people see him as the dark, kind of like, dark brooding, like destroyer of everything. But it's not that. It's he's the destroyer of. Everything in physical existence has a time limit, and at some point it fades into nothing and just gets recycled and churned into something else, and it ends, right? So, but he's more seen as like, so those are three forces of nature: creation, maintenance, and destruction. But he's more seen as a destruction in a spiritual sense, like he destroys your ignorance, he destroys your ego. And then you refine, and then you raise up to your spiritual potential when your ego is more destroyed and your ignorance is destroyed. Disillusionment, they call it. So let's read another passage here. What Shiva dissolves are your delusions. He destroys only your psychological drama, which lives on duality and fragmentation. So that right there is amazing, because the ego is like 20 different egotistical small versions of yourself that live inside your mind in a way. And all these little selves, these little egos, they are all fighting for your attention, and they're fighting to dominate your system and control you. That's like each of these little egos is, say when you have a reoccurring bad mood, a certain type of mood that you're like, I get the same mood, in the same weird moodiness every week or every month, and it's like it kind of takes me over and I become that mood. That's one of those smaller egos, and those, they fight amongst each other, And I'm not going to get into it too much, but it's very interesting. Psychology drama, which lives on duality and fragmentation, separating you from the existential. This seductive drama seems real and compelling, even though it is entirely manufactured by you. This is what the ancients called Maya. Maya does not mean illusion. So a lot of people say Maya means it's the great illusion of life and the world and us and this whole play and this whole dance it's all fake. It's not really real. So the word Maya is seen as it's all an illusion, but it's not quite the right translation. He says more here about what the translation is. It's closer to what it actually means. The one way I love to translate the word Maya in Sanskrit, for me it means the Matrix. It's like it's not it's an illusion in a way, but it's real. It's totally real, but it's kind of an illusion. It's like sequences and codes and cycles and systems and laws And it's all like the huge system, you know? But in a way, it's kind of an illusion. Maya does not mean illusion, although it is often reductively interpreted as such. It simply means our experience of life is relative. Modern neuroscientists confirm this. It does not mean reality does not exist. It simply means that we are not seeing it for the way it is. So it's like false. We're seeing it for not for what it is. We're not seeing correctly. We're seeing with distorted lenses. I heard that's what suffering. One of the things that creates suffering too is you're not seeing reality for what it actually is. You're seeing all these distortions. You're seeing through egoic small selves of the ego and distorted lenses. You're not seeing pure reality. And I know I've had experiences where are we? Somewhere near. I've had experiences where when I was deep into spiritual practices when I was younger, like it was my life for like 2 years. I still worked, but aside from that, it was 100% my life. And it felt like my vision was every few weeks, it was like peeling off a layer of an onion from my vision. And I could see clearer and clearer and clearer. And not just my vision, but my being. It was like there's layers between me and reality. And every month or so, it was an extra layer of the onion being peeled off. And I was getting closer and closer and closer to reality. And then there was moments where it was like there was no onion left. It was just pure. It was just seeing perfectly clear. And when I was seeing super clearly, it was just all I saw was beauty. Just absolutely. I don't know. Like reality was insanely beautiful. Just like I felt way more alive, and the separation between me and reality, or me and the physical, or me and whatever I was looking at. It was just, there was nothing in between. I could see it. I don't know. It was beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's hard to talk about with words, human words, you know? I could get more into that, but let's get back into this book. Oh, one phrase, I think it's from the Gita. How does it go? It's a really good phrase. All ye know on earth is beauty is truth, and truth is beauty. That is all ye know on earth, and all ye need know. Oh, I do believe it's from the Bhagavad Gita. It's great. Okay, where were we? This seductive drama seems real and compelling, even though it is entirely manufactured by you. This is what the ancients called Maya. Maya does not mean illusion, although it is often reductively interpreted as such. It simply means our experience of life is relative. Modern neuroscientists confirm this. It does not mean reality does not exist. It simply means that we are not seeing it the way it is. This is why the traditions speak so much of karma. And this is why I often talk to the importance of responsibility. For the very way you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch the world is your responsibility. Ooh, that reminds me of another great quote that isn't from a holy book. This is the quote: "You are responsible for generating your own experience of reality." Oh, amazing. I don't remember. I don't know where that's from. Curious. It is your karma. It is the destiny you have written for yourself unconsciously. This is your doing. The spiritual process is about learning to write your destiny consciously. It means beginning the journey from the psychological Maya to the existential Shiva. And so Shiva does not spell religion. Shiva spells responsibility. Our ability to take our very life process in our hands. When the old is destroyed, spirituality is not about filling up the empty space with a new set of beliefs. The aim of any authentic spirituality is never to convert you from one set of doctrines to another. The something space that you now see as emptiness is tremendous intelligence. It is the intelligence from which the entire creation has sprung. That space is life. That space is enlightenment. That space is whatever you choose to term the highest within you. So when you utter the word Shiva, you have actually uttered your own thirst for freedom. When you desire freedom, that is, in fact, what you mean. You want to destroy your limitations. You aspire to become unshakable, unlimited, unbound. Awesome. And it's really cool. Some of the stuff I'm working on now is methods, new spiritual work methods that you can go into the subconscious and actually slowly find and pick apart and like lower and lessen the ego. And it's interesting. The small selves of the ego. In the there's a classic depiction of one version of Shiva, and it's a very famous statue. It has like a big ring around it, and it has it's a dancing Shiva, Lord of the Dance. They call it Nataraj, Lord of the Dance. So it's a Shiva and is dancing, and in the symbology of the hand gestures and the movements and his earrings and the leg movement and everything, there's every little piece has significant meaning, and the meaning of each of these pieces comes together to be a guide for people in a way. So one of the a couple of the meanings of this depiction of the dancer, the cosmic dancer is or the Lord of Dance. So he has one leg raised, and one of his hands is pointing to the raised leg. The raised leg means this is how you evolve. This is how you do spirituality. This is how you become evolve as a human. Raising the leg means raising your consciousness. And the other leg is standing on a midget demon. I think it's a small demon, and that symbolizes the ego. And break the back of the ego, and you raise your consciousness. And he's like, that's it. That's how you do it. There's a million other parts to the image, but that's the basic. That's some of the basic part of how to evolve. How to be a human. So there's another tiny little one here I'm going to read quickly. Yogic science took another route. Okay, before that he was talking about, I don't know. Yogic science took another route. It recognizes that this little piece of life, the human being, is made the same way as the cosmos. It is made according to the same principles of creation. Very cool. So yeah, just some light reading, uh, and it's interesting, right? It's interesting. I was doing some other research, and oh yeah, it was this guy Aaron Abke. He's pretty cool, very very cool guy. I relate to him a lot, so in so many ways. Very cool guy. He's a YouTuber that has like tons and tons of spiritual programs, how to evolve spiritually, and he's really really cool. And he was talking about Gnosticism and how with the Gnostics they had a ton. They're early Christians, like the first Christians, basically, way back. And he said in their end conclusion with all the stuff that all their religious stuff in the end, what it amounted to at the end was basically it was all wrong. But the fundamental, not that's not the right word, but a lot of their principles and such were actually totally right. Where they went wrong is with all their concepts, they made it super literal instead of metaphorical, instead of metaphysical. The metaphysics, or is that the right term? Metaphysics. So he said where they went wrong big time is they made it super literal, like fundamentalism. Any type of fundamental religious, any type of religion that becomes very fundamental means that it's very literal. It's extremely literal and not metaphysical or spiritual. It's literal, not spiritual, right? But he said the Gnostics, aside from that, if you took it in a more of a spiritual way, it actually all made extreme. It made perfect sense, and he goes into it. Very cool. That's similar to like fundamental Christianity in say the States. It's in my point of view, it's very very far from what Jesus originally taught. When you take that a lot of that stuff and make it super literal, and there's Jesus passages where he's trying to explain this isn't literal, it's metaphysical. Like he says that in parables. Anyway, I'll end there. Like and subscribe if you got any good information out of this or any good value, and I'll see you soon. Have a good day. Bye.